The Queen, the Rogue, and the Forbidden Flame. Once upon a time, in a realm of iron crowns and treacherous courts, a queen and a rogue found their hearts entangled in a forbidden dance, their desires spark in a world primed to burn. Her name was Eleanor of Aquitaine, his Geoffrey Plantagenet. And this ain't a fairy tale. This is a tale where vows are chains, passion a dagger, and a queen's glance can set kingdoms ablaze. Eleanor, Duchess of Aquitaine, was a queen, bound to a monk, wed to Louis VII of France, a man more wed to his prayers than his crown. She ruled with a fire he could never match nor tame. At 20, she was a storm in silks, her lands vast, her will vaster. But the courts are cruel to women who outshine their kings, and Louis's piety was a leash on her ambition. Enter Geoffrey Plantagenet, Count of Anjou, a man as cunning as he was comely. Married to Empress Matilda, his life was a chessboard of power, his heart a battlefield of want. He was no knight in shining armor. His charm was a blade, his smile a trap. When he came to the French court in the 1140s seeking justice, his eyes found Eleanor, and the air turned thick with danger. She was a queen. He was a count. Both were bound by vows to others, yet their gazes locked, and the world trembled. Whispers began, soft as poison. In the torchlit halls of Paris, Eleanor and Geoffrey circled each other like wolves. She, wary of Louis's cold piety, found in Geoffrey a mirror to her own hunger, for power, for freedom, for something alive. He, chained to a wife whose ambitions dwarfed his own, saw in Eleanor a flame to match his own. Their dalliance was no ballad's romance. It was glances that lingered too long, words laced with double meanings, moments stolen in the flicker of candlelight, a brush of hands in a crowded feast, a shared laugh that cut deeper than it should. The court buzzed with rumors, but none dared speak the truth. A queen and a count, both married, were weaving a thread of treason with every look. Louis, lost in his prayers, sensed the shadow. Matilda, Geoffrey's wife, felt the betrayal in her bones. The church loomed, its decrees a guillotine waiting to fall. Yet Eleanor and Geoffrey danced on, their desire a rebellion against the world's chains. The Second Crusade called Louis to a holy war, and Eleanor, ever defiant, rode with him, her own troops at her command. Geoffrey, tied to Anjou's wars, stayed behind, but the distance only stoked the fire. Letters, perhaps, or whispered messages carried by royal shadows. Rumors of their connection followed Eleanor like a curse. In Antioch, where Eleanor clashed with Louis over strategy and loyalty, some whispered Geoffrey's names as the spark to her defiance. Louis, jealous and wounded, dragged her from the city. His trust in her shattered. The court branded her a scandal, a queen too bold, too alive. Geoffrey, too, paid a price. Matilda, his wife, was no fool. Her ambition for England's throne left no room for a husband's wandering heart. The Plantagenet name, already steeped in rebellion, grew heavier with scandal. Yet neither Eleanor nor Geoffrey bowed. Their dalliance, real or rumored, was a spark that threatened to burn down the fragile alliances of France and Anjou. Eleanor's marriage to Louis crumbled, not just from Geoffrey's shadow, but from her own unbreakable will. In 1152, she won her divorce. Her freedom a blade she wielded with precision. Geoffrey, ever the rogue, faded from her tale, his own wars and Matilda's crown consuming him. He died in 1151, his fire snuffed out, but the whispers of their forbidden flame lingered. Eleanor rose higher, her legend forged in rebellion and desire. She was no prize, no damsel. She was the storm that reshaped kingdoms. What's the moral of this shadowed, treacherous tale? The queen in the tower doesn't wait for a savior. She carves her own path, even if it burns. The love they called forbidden doesn't die. It haunts the halls of power, sharp and unrepentant. and they lived boldly, unbroken, their legacy carved in the ashes of a world that dared to defy them.